Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Calvin, and in this video series, I'm going to show you how I renovated this house and took it from looking like this to looking like this.
Woke up this morning, now watch me step. The week was murder.
I hope you enjoy.
Get rid of the stress. I'm feeling lighter.
Alright, so picking up where we left off, on day 8 I transitioned over to start working on the electric. So when I got the house, the existing panel was 60 amps, and the old main shutoff for the house was this really old, square D breaker with 60 amp fuses. And 60 amps isn't enough for most kind of modern houses, and so I wanted to upgrade to 100 amps. So because I was upgrading my electric, I had to add new thicker copper lines to bring power to my new panel, and also I had to add a new mast and a few other things like moving my service meter outside just to bring everything up to code. Okay, so this is my meter base where the electric meter will sit, and so we will attach that.
The music's popping, this beat has got me feeling alive. Head to the strip, these wheels gon' light up the night. I'm living in a fantasy, come on and take a ride with me. I'm trying to put your mind at ease, let me know that you're feeling me. I'm living in a fantasy, come on and take a ride with me. I'm trying to put your mind at ease, come on and get down with me. Rolling down, moving to the sound. Rolling downtown. The weekend's here and it feels so right. I think I'll put the skins out tonight. I'm gonna go out and have a good time. Ain't nothing gonna stop me tonight. We're cruising by the city lights. Can't wait to put the skins out tonight. I'm gonna go out and have a good time. Ain't nothing gonna stop me tonight. It feels so right. Ain't nothing gonna stop me tonight.
Now that I had my new 100 amp electric panel wired in, all I had to do was wait 6 weeks for the utility company to come out and do the actual upgrade. This would give me enough time to finish all my other electric work in preparation for my electric inspection, and as it turns out, I made a mistake somewhere along the line which would have caused me to fail my inspection and probably would have left me without power for another day before I could fix it. But you're gonna have to wait for next episode to see how we found out and then fix the problem literally the day before the inspection. On day 10, I was back upstairs fixing the hardwood floors, which had been notched around this old bookcase, which I removed. I also did some work in the kitchen, changing the hardwood floors to match the new layout for cabinets, as well as my new doorway from the dining room to the kitchen. So while I was working in the house, it started to get pretty cold. And the furnace was not working, or it would work and then turn off. So I called one of my HVAC friends, and turns out the thermostat line was so old, the covering had basically disintegrated in parts, and that was causing the furnace to trip. So what we did is we ran a new thermostat line, and it's been working great since. So day 11, 12, and 13 were just filled with doing some electric stuff around the house. On day 14, I did a bit of plumbing in the kitchen and spent the rest of the day just cleaning up the house. I've left these unglued just so that once the cabinet's in, I can take these off, put the cabinet in, cut my holes, and then reinstall, and you'll just see kind of this section of the pipe inside the cabinet. Day 15, my drywall arrived, and the company I used, which I've used for a number of places, is super great. They basically bring it in upstairs for me. And as you can see here, it's a little bit tight maneuvering these sheets up the stairs. Alright, so I just did a deep clean of this tub. I'm just using some, Lysol power bowl cleaner. This is normally what they use for toilets, but it works amazing. Gets stuff super clean. And a razor blade to kind of get any remnants of caulking off. You can still see there's like a little bit on the lip. I'm not too worried about the lip because that'll be covered by tiles. I'm just trying to get anything on this flat surface here. Still a little bit of work to get right in there. But anyway, this tub's actually in much better condition than I originally thought. The only part is there's it's worn out a little bit of the enamel in the bottom, and that blue hue is just because I've been soaking this stuff with Lysol. But once you clean it, it basically turns white. And so I think I'm going to hold off on, putting on the refinishing kit, just because the kit's about $250, and $250 saved for something that doesn't need to be done is obviously money saved. So for now, I think I'm just going to put it in, and then down the line, I can always go back and recoat it in place. Once I got my tub in, I was able to install my Dense Shield shower surround, as well as the drywall in the bathroom. So I'm just doing a little water test overnight here. So I filled the tub up a decent amount with water, because I just installed the tub drain right here. And so underneath the tub, you can see there is the drain right there. And so I've just put a piece of paper towel, and obviously I've plugged the hole, and I'm just gonna let the water sit all night. If there is a leak, now is the time to figure that out. So basically we'll see how it goes overnight, and I'll pull this paper towel out tomorrow. And if there's any water, then we'll have to sort that out then, but I think it should be good. We screwed it in nice and tight, used a little bit of silicone caulking, so we'll check in tomorrow. Alright, so it is the next day. This water has sat here for more than 12 hours. And let's check to see. Perfectly dry. no leaks underneath. So that is all set here for, I'll get my vent in here for the back of the bathtub, and we are good to go. I actually installed this drywall on the back here, forgetting that I hadn't actually plumbed in the tub drain or the vent there. So I took it off, and anyway, we'll get that all plumbed up and closed back. So day 17 to 20 was spent installing drywall upstairs. I think I had about 40 sheets to do between the 3 rooms and the bathroom. Next time, I'm definitely going to rent a lift. Installing some of these ceiling sheets by myself was definitely a challenge.
Gotta think about it, gotta dream about it, gotta find a way to do the things that make you feel good. Gotta think about it, gotta dream about it, gotta find a way to do the things that make you feel good. Gotta think about it, gotta dream about it, gotta find a way to do the things that make you feel good.
So this is the back of the closet, which I guess at one point was a doorway. And it was framed up with 1x2. Here's a 2x4. Here's a 1x4, 2x3, and then right here is a 1x6. So definitely a good selection of woods here for framing it up. And on the other side, it looked rather like this. It was just kind of pieces put in. I am covering over all of it, but I would like to just put some proper studs there before, like, what's framed around the inside of the opening is that 1x2, and it's not very sturdy. So I'm gonna take out all of this, frame it up properly so that it's properly supported, and then we'll just drywall right over top.
Morning lights, new dawn, yeah, we ready for more. Breaking out new borns, driven by the allure. Facing life head on, blowing fresh at the door. No limits, all in it, yeah, we ready to soar. Every step that I take, every move that I make, anticipating, no more waiting, elevating the stakes. Some full stride, eyes open, captivating the scene. True life, my time.
Another thing I installed on top of all the baseboards was this little J channel. And that basically just protects the drywall edge because I was putting drywall on top of the baseboards instead of behind.
I'm getting clever, yeah. Special deliveries out. Special deliveries out on the way. I'm on that midday hustle and I'm hitting my stride. Clock ticking, never missing, no reason to hide. City passing while I'm moving and I'm taking it in. Hitting every door, crashing and I'm wearing a grin. Through this alleyway, stuck in, navigating the weight. Every package is a hustle, I'm wide awake. No slowing and improving, making these cakes moving. Through with the take, ooh, with the thrill I create. Damn, it's a plan, no overstand, I'm free in my zone. Drop hit, pick it up, lose full control. Don't mind if I splash while I'm making these waves. Life like a knife, baby, and I'm cutting my way, I'm better.
Alright, so I'm just behind the tub and shower here. As you can see, we've got the plumbing finally all done for the tub. I've got my little spout here nice and secure down, so that won't rattle around once I put on the diverter piece or the tub spout. And so now I can cover this all up. And this is the last piece of drywall to go up in the upstairs. We have all the rooms done. So I'm gonna switch here to wide lens. So all the rooms here are done. In 2 of the rooms I was able to fit the drywall behind this trim. And what I'll do later is I'll fasten this a little bit tighter. And so that was nice, just because this, all the lapping plaster was already gone from this room. I was also able to do that same thing here in this room. I just took off the sills here, and I'll put them back on after, but as you can see here, the drywall tucks nicely behind. On some of the places, like the trim around the doors, the drywall basically just butts right into it. And so I'll just have my taper, leave a nice, little bit of mud along the wall there, and that I can caulk and paint a nice transition. And finally, here's the new wall I framed up. So that's, proper 16-inch on center. A little bit more confident in that wall than the one that was there before. And then this is the final room. Again, lots of fasteners in the ceiling. Went a little bit crazy, but I don't want any drywall falling back down on me. And, lots of fasteners on the walls. So this stuff is solid. And here, I wasn't able to go behind just because there was already some drywall on the wall. So I put this right over top. It's a lot easier and faster. And so this here, there's less of a kick out here, but again, we can just caulk that joint and it'll look great. So there we go. The upstairs is done. A little bit more drywall in the kitchen. And again, taper is coming tomorrow. All right, so I rebuilt this corner here, right around the old plumbing stack. And as you can see, that's where the old drywall was. So I've brought it in about 1.25 inches on this side, and about closing on 2 inches on this side. And so that just gives a little bit more counter space. As well, I wanted to bring this wall back as far as possible. It had, kind of about 1.5 inches worth of like lath and plaster, old like particle board on top of that. So I want to get it back as far as possible so that when I have my 12-inch uppers here, I don't want them, intruding too much on the space. So I've also re-supported the cast iron pipe, because this thing, I'm guessing, is fairly heavy. So it's been kind of braced in there and held up just like it was before. So I'm pretty comfortable. I mean, this thing before, it kind of shook. It is now rock solid, anchored in multiple places right to the framing. So we're gonna go ahead now and switch over to drywall and cover this all up. So if you've ever tried to tape or mud drywall before, you'll understand that it is an art. And it's really fun to watch my friends here because they are incredibly good at it. They get done in a couple of days what would take me weeks. So this is the reality of what a reno looks like, midway through. The place looks like a disaster zone. We're just in the middle of mudding and taping here. So I mean, there's mud all over the floors. It's mostly covered, but the paper I use is a little bit thin, so it's ripping in a lot of places. And of course, space is generally an issue, so kind of stuff is spread out. Most of my tools kind of in this room here. Skim coating the ceiling, having to rip off parts of the stuff here. There was an old wallpaper which they just mudded right over top, and so obviously that was separating, so they're having to rip it off, which thankfully is coming off pretty well. It kind of comes off in like these flakes, and so they're gonna obviously skim coat and make this room look good. But yeah, I thought I would just show kind of what it looks like. I think the cleanest room right now is the kitchen. That's just because I cleaned it yesterday, and they haven't done too much mudding. They still have the corner bead and whatnot to do here, so yeah, coming together.
The kingdom come, 'cause my mother told me as a child, boy, don't play around with fire, 'cause you might just end up getting burned. And I know the wicked never rest, so I always try my best, but there's some lessons hard for me to learn, like good boys don't play with bad girls. Good boys stay away from them bad girls, yeah. The good ones just can't get me high, so I'll be falling all my life for one of these bad girls. You bad girl, but you do me so good. Friends call me a dummy, 'cause she taking all my money, but I make it rain like 24/7. If it mean a little time with you, break my heart and leave me hurt, the next one just gon' do me worse. So if they all no good, I'll just be bad with you. 'Cause my mother told me as a child, boy, don't play around with fire, 'cause you might just end up getting burned. And I know the wicked never rest, so I always try my best, but there's some lessons hard for me to learn, like good boys don't play with bad girls. Good boys stay away from them bad girls, them bad girls. The good ones just can't get me high, so I be falling all my life for one of these bad girls. You bad girl, but you do me so good.
So just as I was getting the house dust-free and ready for painting, I decided to jump right back in and insulate and drywall that back 3 seasons room, which would eventually become a gym. But you'll have to wait until next week's episode to see how I did that.